Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather.
with Women in Leadership. Hello and welcome to the table. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather. Woo, Mindset Monday.
What? Who does not like Mindset Monday? Everybody loves Mindset Monday. They keep asking for more, actually. Yeah, right. It's awesome.
We love to come together and talk about the books we're reading right now.
Mm-hmm. Encouraging each other along our growth path. You guys get to watch us, grow and have aha moments and stuff right here in front of you, literally, for the last year and a half. We've just
over 300 episodes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a lot.
Talk about mastering this little piece of it, and stepping into our own beings of who we are.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on our growth journey and
building our friendship right here.
And our businesses together. It's so cool.
So,
what books are we reading right now?
The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. And
Career Self-Care by Minda Zetlin.
And of course, the magic of reading two books is watching them come together. Mm-hmm. And again, no big surprise at this point, mm-hmm. but it is amazing still to watch the congruency in how it pulls together.
Our original goal was to take these business growth ideas and these personal growth ideas and, be kind of left foot, right foot with them on our growth journey. And it's really awesome to see how they intertwine and work together and things like that. And so...
And even more as to how, especially with career self-care, how much as women it's all intertwined. It isn't a leave it at the door kind of a situation for us. That is not how you're going to get a happy woman.
No.
That is not. No. We'd rather just deal with whatever it is, get it done and move on, than to have to wait till later to deal with something or right. We could just handle it and be done, and then the stress of it is over. That's my favorite.
Do it again. Right.
Yes.
So we're halfway through both books right now, chapter 10. And so in Don Miguel Ruiz's You Can Heal the Mastery of Love.
We did do that book last time.
We did.
You Can Heal Your Life. I was like, that wasn't that one.
And the name of this chapter is Seeing with the Eyes of Love, which I think is a really good summary of the chapter and what tools that he uses to teach this concept of seeing with the eyes of love.
And that's seeing yourself, mm-hmm. seeing others, mm-hmm. How you, your compassion comes from love, mm-hmm. right?
Right. And there's a difference between seeing things with rose-colored glasses.
Right.
And seeing things for what they are, but coming from that place of love.
Right.
Right. And so he talks about that too, because if you are just I'm so in love, there's nothing wrong with him, he's so perfect or whatever.
That's that rose-colored glass over. Your girlfriends are a little worried about you, right?
Yeah.
But when you're coming at and you're like, yeah, I know that these are the flaws mm-hmm. in this situation, but yes, and these are the flaws. Yes, and
these are the things I'm working on for me.
Yeah,
because you can't change the other person
ever.
So either you're gonna accept those flaws as they are, or it's gonna come to a head at some point.
And you can only control what you allow and accept into your life. Mm-hmm. So if you are actually coming from loving yourself, mm-hmm. and when you're loving yourself, I saw a quote today. It was like, be so positive that the negative people take themselves off your Facebook. I was like, that's a good quote, because that's kind of what happens when you are loving yourself. That's no longer an issue, because you're like, no thanks.
Your whole feed changes.
You can have that back. You're like, no. And then you're making your decisions based on your alignment with that love. And then you're in a different place in your life, and it's magical change. This is one I've done personally, like, to move into there.
Just to like come back to what Heather means by, you hand it back. It's like somebody tries to give their trash to you, and label you inappropriately, like,
or have an opinion.
If they feed that itty bitty shitty committee in your head, right? If they are feeding that itty bitty shitty committee in your head, you can give that back to them and not accept that, because you don't need to feed.
We don't need to feed those itty bitty committees. They have a mind of their own. They need no help, right? So, and then when somebody else is having a reaction and you feel like they're putting stuff on you, and you step back and you don't accept it, or you literally like pick it up out of and give it back, you will notice a difference in the way that they respond to you and the way that you respond to them, because you're not picking it up. You step back and don't accept it and pick it up. Well, then they're still holding it. And then it becomes on them to deal with their emotions around it.
Right.
So now when I have a big reaction, I don't just like freak out and start blurting stuff out at like my child, right? I take a minute and I'm like, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling this way? Like, I run it through the filters, because I'm like, I don't like to come from that place of reaction. I like to be decided. And a calm, decided woman is scary.
Right. And another really cool thing about this growth process is we keep running into the same things over and over, and when we learn the lesson, it just shows up in different ways. And so when you reface the same thing again, you have the opportunity to take a step back, look at it, and be like, no, not again, not this time, no thank you. And I have seen that happen over and over in this last year, and it has actually it was like the universe saying, are you ready for that next step? Because this is what you need to face in order to be there.
And someone said it like a wall comes down.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
You break down the wall, and then
you got to break down the wall
forward on the path.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to break through the idea.
Otherwise, you're still going to have, the wall's going to follow you on the path.
That whole scene in Harry Potter like pops up in my head totally differently now.
Right? So even coming to yourself from compassion and looking at how you're reacting to situations in a way that you can be calm and decided.
Right. Which brings us right into Minda Zetlin's Career Self-Care. Chapter 10 this week is why you should make sure to do what you love. So not only are we loving ourselves from the inside, but we are creating an environment for ourselves to be in every day that we love, that we enjoy being at, that we
nobody has to ask us twice to get out of bed, right? Like,
no. Really, the only time I want to stay there is when it's warm and it's cold outside. At the same time, it's like, can I like levitate my laptop in here so I can still do work? But no, I love what she said in this chapter. She's got a quote in here from Jim Carrey. He talked about how all of us make decisions based on either love or fear. Fear is sometimes disguised as practicality, he said. His own father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that was possible for him, Carrie explained. So he made a conservative choice, and instead he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go of that safe job, and our family had to do whatever we could to survive. That included a period of homelessness during which the family lived in a van. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which is that you can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
Boom. Gosh, that touches my home, right?
Right.
Like
right.
you do, because you think that you're doing good, like you're following that societal story, the domestication, that you have to get this secure thing to take care of your family.
You get a job and you work there every day for 20 years until you retire or die, right?
And that's not a thing.
No.
It's not even a real thing anymore.
No. We get to create a life that we aspire to live every day.
Yes.
How cool is that? Here we are, 2023. We can work from home, online,
from vacation destinations,
from anywhere.
Yeah.
All we need is some internet, right?
Yeah.
And really,
we need internet or a good system.
But really, we can do anything we aspire to do. Yeah. We can be anything we aspire to be in this life right now, today. We can do so much more today than we could even like 5 years ago.
Yes.
Right? The possibilities are endless.
And if you're watching this, we hold space for you to do this process, right? Like, we can hook you up with a person that matches where you're at. Like, we know from business to life coaching to strategy to what is it you need. Like, we know
some people.
I mean,
we've got amazing resources and amazing ladies that we just think are amazing people. And we can't work with everybody in the world, but you know what,
we can try.
We can try, but we want our community to grow and to really support one another. So if you have a need in your personal life or your business life and you need some support in some way, let us know and we can send you a referral, because we would love to refer your businesses to other women. So boom,
just do it.
So just make sure you're doing what you love, right? Because when you love what you do, it becomes easy.
I do like this kind of checklist about passions, though. There can be more than one, right? You're not like stuck with one, like, oh, I decided that was my passion and I can't do anything else now for the rest of my life. Also, limiting belief. Don't do that.
Right. You know how many times mine has changed?
But it's still the core same principle, just attaching, letting go of what we think that looks like.
Right.
If you look at it like you love to like teach and mentor, and
it's always been a part of
what you do,
what I do,
no matter where you've been.
Exactly.
Right. So don't be so stuck on this is how I do it.
Right.
Because I
used to think it was going to be in a classroom with
right.
kids and have this like strict schedule and all this extra work and things to do. But now I'm in a totally different space where I get to do what I love, and it is fun and it is inspiring every single day to come to work.
Yes. And we get to work with other entrepreneurs that are like we get very excited and in depth. Like, we love what we do.
We nerd out big time.
It might not be love at first sight. Okay. I can tell you there was this nightmare day where we could have walked away from podcasting. Like, seriously, nothing worked. The wrong Facebook accounts were linked to the wrong people, to the equipment wasn't working. That was one of those wall days, right?
Right.
And we pushed through that, and it was an amazing moment. But that was that moment that this was not fun. And so I like, there's two things here. So the next one is it won't always be fun, because it won't. There are hard things in everything we're doing.
Right.
But we get to choose. Yeah, it's not always fun. There's always like, there'll be you're on the phone with the phone company or the internet company. Like there's always things that have to be done that fall to you as the business owners or the leaders in your company that you don't want to do, but having the goal and the big picture in mind, it's so different, right?
Yeah. The next one she's got is it's all about values, which if you've been around for any length of time, you know that our values are the 4 agreements when it comes to our personal lives and how we want to run our business, right?
Yes.
It's really important to us that we are following the 4 agreements in everything we do. So those are our values.
And we work on it.
Yes.
It's not a one and done thing.
Exactly.
Right? Like we work to show up in that space and hold that space for each other. And we politely correct each other. Like we have that relationship that we can do that. But now we're to a point where we're like, wow, we recognize it on ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm having a personal moment here. Give me a second. I'm going to process this. And it might still be loud but it's like very much like, I am having a problem. I know it. I don't understand what I'm doing. I don't know what happened here, but we can work through it.
Like the other day I had an instance where I said something, then I realized it came out totally bad. And I was like, I'm sorry, that came out totally wrong. That's not how I meant it to sound. Please understand that that's not what I mean, but this is what I mean. And they're like, yeah, I know, I get it. Like, it's not even that big. And
then the people around you aren't immediately picking up those pieces either. Like you had a slip of the tongue, but we're not picking it up and taking personally either, because that's part of the 4 agreements. So it creates this environment to have that grace.
Right. It's so cool.
So because the response is usually curious, not like, what the hell? It's just like, maybe like, okay, I don't know what the hell that was about, but it's not about me. So like, and then we
giving them room for a little bit, and sometimes we'll let them like cool down or whatever, and then come back and be like, hey, so earlier,
do we want to talk?
Can we talk about that situation?
Did you even notice you did this thing? Right.
Because sometimes it's just not appropriate in the moment, right? Number 5, you may have to let love find you. Okay. I can share story after story after story with you of the minute you're like, I love this thing or this person or whatever, but I'm willing to let it go. How much abundance you get in return, right? Like my husband, right? I was leaving for boot camp when we were dating and things like that. Obviously, we're married now, right? But I told him when I left, I said, we don't have to do this long distance thing. It doesn't, it's okay if you want to go and see other people. I'm good with that. I want to give you the space to do what you need to do.
I love he comes back with a ring. I'm keeping this one, you guys.
Yeah. So that was my younger wiser self as 19, right?
But that act of to not holding on too tight to things, right? And really focusing on the things you can control and being the person you want to be and showing up the way you want to be. These things find you. There was someone was talking about this week about the act of doing creates the passion. So you figure out like the things you need to be doing. So because sometimes you might be overwhelmed by like the normal mom schedule, right? Like I got to get the kids up, I have to make lunches, I got to bring breakfast, I have to remember to cook dinner every night. The kids like to eat or something, you have all like these things you have to do as a mom, right?
Yeah.
And you get overwhelmed in that and you forget to take time to allow for your things to come out. So you have to start to cultivate it. So like for us, that has looked like setting aside time to meet and have a business meeting, meditate together. Like on our journey, we did different things, right? We made the time for those things, so that we could really step into who we are right now.
Right. And we wouldn't be where we are and who we are right now in this moment without all that work that we've done.
Right.
And it's been a lot of work, guys. There's been tears, there's been screaming, there's been crying, there's been flailing. I mean,
well,
it's
you
been a
will. Okay.
So in this chapter, she's got some really great tips on what happens if you hate your job.
Help, I hate my job. It's a good little section.
It's a good little section.
So, and Charlie reads it all, but you can also pick up your own copy of this amazing book.
Right. The exercises that she has to try this week are pretty good. And the last one here that she has, I think, is probably one of my favorite exercises. Imagine your last job. If the job you have now were the last one you could ever have, would that be all right with you?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Not everybody can say that.
Right.
Right?
And she's got more tips and things in here on how to, think about that. But that question right there, if the job you have right now were the last one you could ever have, would that be okay for you? Ooh, that's a big question, right? I can say yes, because, well,
we made our jobs up.
we just made our jobs around it.
Right? We stepped into who we are and our jobs came to us, basically.
Basically. Yeah. So
which means if we can do it,
so can you.
So can you. Because that's the power of us being so vulnerable with you and showing you all of our growth. You can watch the transformation. Mm-hmm. You can bear witness.
You grow with us.
And grow. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, we goof up. We make mistakes.
And sometimes this fast pace that we go at is really hard.
Well, like a week, you guys. It's a lot.
We breathe. We do meditate regularly. We take breaks, and one of our biggest secrets is we usually take Friday afternoon off for self-care time.
Yeah. Not
to just go play with the family, but to do something for ourselves.
Yeah, and we schedule that.
Every week.
And we schedule our self-care before we leave the previous appointment. We schedule the next one.
Because that's what CEOs do.
Right.
So if you're ready to step into your C-suite energy, there's one of her biggest tips right there.
Schedule your self-care before you leave. Doesn't matter what it is. Doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, chiropractor, hair, nails, whatever it is that you do for you. Go schedule it.
Boom. On that note, stay tuned for the cause of the quarter. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're hoping that you're having an amazing summer, deciding and choosing what you want to do each day.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Namaste. Mwah. The Marysville Police Foundation is a 501c3 organization to support these areas of the Marysville Police Department, law enforcement, officer wellness, and the community outreach programs and activities. We look forward to serving you.
We take the mystery and pain out of social media consistency for your business, giving you back time to shine in your zone of genius. Social media is the new branding. It deserves its own attention, thought, and effort. Yet so few businesses actually take this seriously and invest enough time on their strategy. We can do it for you at an affordable rate that will fit into your budget and allow you to pursue other revenue channels as well. The hardest part of social media management is keeping up the consistency to be seen and know what to post, when to post. Are you ready to have everything ready to go for you, saving you time and energy by not having to do it all yourself? Still getting your message out so that people get to know you, like you, and develop trust while opening yourself up to more time for the business of your business where you shine. Working with Women in Leadership, BSMB LLP, is a unique experience that bridges the gap from face-to-face to virtual relationship marketing. Not only do we love to help you shine on social media, we love to share tools to help you grow with us, body, soul, mind, and business. Check out our podcast and YouTube channel for Mindset Mondays, Social Media Training Wednesdays, business interviews and special topics on Fridays, and weekly readings on Sundays. To schedule your consultation or podcast interview, head to our website, www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com. Our weekly readings on Sunday, our podcast, Mindset Monday, social media training with Heather on Wednesdays, guest interviews, and special topics on Fridays. Thank you for joining us. Find out more and schedule with us online at www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com, where you have a spot at the table.
Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.